Right, hello, welcome to my second Benzo Diary. If you didn't see the first one, it's on YouTube. What I'm going to try and do in this one is try and explain a little bit about what life is like actually taking these things. I should point out that I also have to take an antidepressant, but that's an inevitable consequence of things that happened in the past, which I'm not really comfortable talking about on here. My main concern is about to give you some idea what these things are like, because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of misunderstanding out there about how difficult it is. Your day start. What a way to try and describe it is the day's like you're like a late running bus or a train. You're always behind. It starts with a poor night's sleep. It ends up with waking up at a time which you don't want to wake up, which in my case was only about half an hour ago. It's now already 2 in the afternoon, and that's not untypical for this. So go out into the kitchen. This is where I keep all my pills. And just to explain what it's like. So in a typical day, I have to take 36 milligrams of diazepam. So 3 of these 2 milligram tablets, and then at different points in the day, usually a little bit later on, 3 of these 10 milligram tablets. And like I said, I also take antidepressant called venlafaxine, which has had some benefit over the years. And just for good measure, I have to take simvastatin, because I have a hereditary high cholesterol condition which I can't do anything about. In the first Benzo Diary, I explained a bit about how I got into this state. And I basically was given something called clonazepam, which is better known as Klonopin. It's the Stevie Nicks drug, if you want to call it that. It's most famous for the problems that she had in rather unwisely trying to come off it by itself, because it's a very toxic drug, and she went cold turkey on it, which is, depending on your point of view, either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid. But then again, she's got lots of money and lots of people to look after her, and I haven't. So, but you know, she managed to get off it. But she did describe it as like entering the gates of hell, and it's well documented on the internet if you want to have a look at what her story was. Now, the way these drugs are not the same. They might all end in the word Pam, but they affect your body in different ways. And I have to thank a friend of mine, Debbie, who's coming towards the end of her journey, but it's been excruciating for her. Who corrected me that these things, when they are prescribed, I said they can be of benefit to people. They can only be benefit in a very short-term event or crisis, such as the one when I was first given the drugs. You should never be taking them for any longer than a fortnight, because it's not good for you, and you will get hooked. Or most people will get hooked. I can't be absolutely certain that everyone will get hooked, because everyone's bodies are wired differently. And that leads me to the next point. It's all about how your brain's wired. So when I was persuaded and not given the full information about what would happen in switching from one more toxic thing to one which was less toxic. Now, I'm going to name names here, and he's very welcome to take me to court, because I'd be delighted to challenge his decision and have access to all the evidence. But a chap called Dr. Viola, after being on clonazepam, the only thing we agreed on, it was desirable that I sought a path that would help me to get off this stuff. Now, what he wanted to do was to put me on to, and this is how people are on very strong drugs, this is how it all works. Everyone gets put onto Valium because it's the weakest drug in the family, and in theory it's the easiest to come off. So what they do, these people, is they put you onto that. They put you onto what they think is an equivalent dose, and they're meant to follow the guidelines that are laid out by NICE, which again are available on the internet for people to see. Now, last time I explained, what I didn't explain is when I was on my old drug, I was taking at that point 4 milligrams of it, which is the equivalent of 80, say 80 milligrams of Valium or diazepam. Now, the doctor at the time, Dr. Viola, wanted to put me on to 40. He wanted me to cut 5 milligrams every 2 weeks until I was down to 0. Basically a 12-week reduction program, which goes against every single rule in his own governing body's book, and it goes against NICE guidelines, and it's dangerous. The way to help the public to understand is being on this stuff is as hard to get off as being on class A drug like heroin, and you would not but unfortunately you can't go cold turkey on this drug because it stays in your system longer, and it's different. It's very difficult to explain without being too technical, and I don't want to be technical, but basically taking this stuff just governs your life. In my next video diary, I'm going to talk more about the process and how ill the incompetence of the powers that be have made me. But in this video diary, I just want you to know that's the kind of typical sort of day I have, and it's not easy. It doesn't give you a good quality of life, and you can understand why the DWP consider me, they didn't even require me to attend a workplace assessment, because even their doctor recognised that addiction to, I hate the word addiction, dependency on tranquilizers is a very serious matter indeed. Although strangely enough, none of the mental health's main charities like Time to Change, Rethink, Mind talk much about this at all. They don't campaign on it, they don't have a great deal to say on it at all. And just one other thing for good measure, antidepressants are also addictive. I mean, if I didn't take, that's the thing I'll finish on, if I didn't take these things that I've just shown to you, my body would have a reaction within a few hours. It would start with mild anxiety, and then it would turn into chronic, more chronic symptoms, which I'll go into next time. But I hope that's helped to kind of explain what day is like. Obviously, there's things I need to put in place in my routine to try and make things a bit more meaningful. But I'll finish with this one point. When I was taking the more toxic drug, I never needed the mental health crisis services. Although it wasn't doing me much good, I actually felt more well on the more toxic version, because my body adjusted to it, and I was able to do things like permitted work and able to commentate on stuff and do Barnet games and do other things. When I made the switch over, my health collapsed within a couple of months, and I needed the help from the crisis team constantly, and I mean constantly. And that led to the events, what happened last May, which I described in the first diary. So I'm almost running out of space on here to record, so I'll leave it for now, but next time I'm going to talk about the process and services and how I see how they failed and what they can do to improve. Sign out for now.